Vijay and Sarojini, this is your first time, never heard of Bhagavad Gita. So maybe now your children or children-in-law, they are saying, yes, read this book, read this book, read this book. So we'll give you a little taste of this book. The Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book. Actually, it's a poem. It's part of the longest poem in existence. Does anyone know what that poem is? The Mahabharata, yes. The longest poem in existence is 48,000 verses, and the Bhagavad Gita is 700 of those 48,000 verses, and it's like the philosophical climax of the whole. You could say it's a poem, but it's like a really nice story and drama. There's love and murder and all kinds of things. It's like a whole amazing drama. But the Bhagavad Gita is the philosophical climax. So we study from the Bhagavad Gita, and it's like probably the most, just like in every hotel in the USA, you'll find a Bible. In India, in every hotel, you'll find a Bhagavad Gita. But even actually nowadays, they have movements where Bhagavad Gitas are in every hotel, or in many hotels in the USA too. Especially because a lot of Indians own hotels. It's a business they like. What's that? Oh, I have to take that off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go through a little part in the Bhagavad Gita where marriage is mentioned, actually. So this will be very good. So there's never a specific point where in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he's talking directly about marriage, but there's many points where he's talking about what marriage is a subsect of rituals that one performs in one's life, which is called yajna. Yajna are sacrifices. So actually, we'll see where it says that, but actually the very purpose of human life is to make your life a sacrifice. So for what Stella and Madhava are doing is very appropriate and laudable, actually, that they are making their life a sacrifice, because this is actually what the human beings are instructed to do. And what might be valuable for those viewing this from the outside, you may also see in your own way, in your own connection to your spiritual life, how you can make your life also a sacrifice to God and see the value in that. Especially it's contagious when you see others benefiting in this way. I would also like to benefit in this way. So let me just say one thing. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So, before I say anything, I've said so many things already, and I apologize. But what I should have said in the very beginning is that I first of all offer all of my obeisances and deep, humble respects, my heart like flowers, unto my gurus in my life, both Diksha and Shiksha, for without their guidance and blessings upon me, I'd have nothing to offer anybody. I also want to offer those same heartfelt respects and my heart to the teachers who have come before. They're called the Param Gurus, who have given the knowledge to the Gurus who are directly helping me in this life, and including one of the books we're reading from one of our Param Gurus, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And then finally, I want to offer my obeisances unto all of the spiritual devotees of the Lord, which actually everybody's final evolution of the soul is that one realizes that they're a servant of God and acts accordingly. It may not happen in this lifetime for everybody, but if one is fortunate, one will have that realization and know that they are a spirit soul. They are actually created by God to best be suited to serve God, and when they realize that, they will act accordingly, and then their life will become perfect. So this is a teaching how to have a perfect life. The Bhagavad Gita, it means the song of God. Well, you'll see how it's a song, it's a poem. We'll chant the poem, and then in there is just so much deep philosophy. It'll blow your mind too. Albert Einstein very much loved the Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi very much loved the Bhagavad Gita. Even Martin Luther King got a lot of his civil rights movement from Mahatma Gandhi through the wisdom in the Bhagavad Gita. So many people have tried to harness the power. On the other side of things, the Nazis were trying to recite the Bhagavad Gita and get all of the the power and the mystic wisdom in there, but they were not successful because you can't just steal these things. You have to earn them in a blessed way. Yes. So, the Bhagavad Gita is very powerful, and we'll just read maybe one or two of 700 verses. And you'll see by just one or two of these verses, you might be, wow, that's quite inspiring by just one or two. If I were to go through all 700 verses, what might happen in my life? And I'll tell you, something profound would happen. But anyhow, this is just one verse. So you can repeat after me. Can you see it on the screen? Is it there? Yes? I'll make it even bigger for you. Yagya dana tapa karma natyajang karyamevata yagyo danang tapaschaiva pavanani manishinang yagya dana tapa karma natyajang karyamevata yagyodanang tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Anyone want to try? One of you guys.
Yagya dana tapa karma
Yagya dana tapa karma
Natyajyam karyam evata
natyajyang karyam evata
Yagyo danam tapaschaiva
yagyo danang tapaschaiva
Bhavanani manashitam.
pavanani manishinam. That was good. It was very good. Okay, yagya. Okay, yagya means sacrifice. Dana, charity. Tapa, penance. Karma, activities. Na, never. Tyajyam. Okay, sorry, I can't see. Given up. Karyam, must be done. Eva tat, or eva. Certainly, tat, that. Yagya, sacrifice. Danam, charity. Tapa, penance. Cha, also. Pavanani, purifying. Manishinam, even of the great souls. So you kind of get an idea of what this means, right? So it's saying yagya, acts of sacrifice, like this wedding is a sacrifice. So many things are being done. And it should be known, it would be nice if they were here to hear it. No sacrifice is complete without three things. The chanting of the Lord's holy name, the glorification of the Lord. So any activity that you ever do, any sacrifice, these three things always should be there. There should be glorification of the Lord through reciting His names, singing His names, or speaking His glories, like His instructions in Bhagavad Gita. The feeding of all of the people in the assembly, and the remuneration of the priest. So offering some charity to the priest who's conducted the sacrifice. So these three things purify every sacrifice. So acts of sacrifice, charity, which is dana, and penance. Penance means, trying to rectify bad behavior in our life. None of us are perfect, and many of us have made mistakes before, right? Yes. So when you're a criminal and you make really bad mistakes in the society, they have a penance for you. You have to do so I actually did it once before. So many community hours, then I had to go to either Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. I got to choose. And the next thing like that, and then I had to go through a whole penance. And then one of the penance they make you is money. I had to give a lot of money to the government and things like this. So anyhow, there's natural penances, or maybe you have to go serve time at the penitentiary, which is connected to the word penance, right? So all of this is there. But it's saying these things, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance, are not to be given up, but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So for a little context, the main characters, which are, it's a conversation between the greatest warrior on the planet and God. That's what the Bhagavad Gita is. You'll see in the these things are never, charity and penance are never to be given up. Why? Because they purify even the great souls. So actually what Stella and Madhava are doing, this yagya that they're performing, is actually it purifies even the great souls. So it's actually recommended, everyone. I can tell you a story, but first let's just read this little paragraph. And it talks about marriage in the paragraph. It said, the yogis should perform acts for the advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. The marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivaha Yagya. So should a sannyasi who is in the renounced order of life and who has given up his family relations encourage the marriage ceremony? This is because Prabhupada was being criticized because he was doing this. He was a sannyasi, he'd given up all marriage life, family life, but he was encouraging his disciples to get married. And people were criticizing, you should not be doing this. So he's answering it right here. Should a sannyasi who's in the renounced order of life and who's given up his family relations encourage the marriage ceremony? The Lord says here that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should never be given up. Vivaha Yagya, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind to become peaceful for spiritual advancement. For most men, this Vivaha Yagya should be encouraged even by persons in the renounced order of life. Sannyasis should never associate with women. Sannyasi is like one who has tried to become celibate and renounce the world and fully focus on preaching the message of God, like preaching the gospel all over the world. That's like what a sannyasi is. So they should never associate with the fairer sex because then they'll get very attracted to that and they may lose that focus. They may lose that. But that does not mean that one who is in the lower stages of life, a young man, should not accept a wife in the marriage ceremony. All prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. Similarly, charity is for the purification of the heart. If charity is given to suitable persons, as described previously, it leads one to advanced spiritual life. So here is being described how important marriage is, and how it's interesting because we're in a tradition here where all of the great saints, they usually give up married and family life. Like even Jesus, he said one will become like a eunuch. When one becomes very advanced in spiritual life, you'll become like a eunuch, which means you will not be attracted to sex life altogether. Which is, for most people in this world, that's not at all, they can't even fathom how that could be possible because that's the highest realm of pleasure that they know in this world. But actually, there is a higher pleasure. But anyone here? Stella's from an Italian family, yes?
Yep.
I'm also from an Italian. I'm supposedly 100% Italian. So when I was a little boy, I wasn't allowed to eat SpaghettiOs. The reason why was because if I were to go and eat SpaghettiOs, my mother, because she makes homemade gravy and pasta, because she makes it in her mind so well, it would be like an insult to our ancestors if I were to eat these crappy store-bought SpaghettiOs. So, but in her defense, when I got older and I started eating these crappy canned processed things in the store, I was like, oh, this isn't nearly as good as what I've eaten my whole life. Why? Because I tasted something better, and so then I knew. So similarly, there's all kinds of forms of pleasure in life. But if we've only had a certain thing our whole life, this is our standard of pleasure. But until we've tasted something higher, we can never know that higher taste. But those who know spiritual pleasure, actually, they feel so much ecstasy in this that they actually won't, even the things that every person seeks for pleasure, they'll be like, oh, that's not very good at all, because I've tasted this pleasure. So this is actually what's possible in spiritual life. For right now, it may not be like, oh, that's an interesting theory, because right now it's just theoretical. But if you actually do experiment with this process, you see, like many other youthful people, most youthful people, they're chasing after sex and money and all of the rock and roll, all of the things that people are seeking for pleasure in this world. But it's interesting, you'll see all these youthful people who might have a different direction in life. And why? Because there's something they're tasting. And there's something everyone can taste as well. There's a reason Jesus also said the same thing and also rejected this aspect. But we should understand, when we're coming from a society that on every billboard and every television series and every movie, everything is romance is like the number one pleasure. Every Disney princess movie or this, that, and the other thing. Romance is said to be the number one pleasure. It's natural that we become very attracted to this idea. So, that's been known for eternity by God. So God has given actually the Vivaha Yagya to help both parties, the male and the female, to come together and have a legal way in which they can, you could say, fulfill their desires to have companionship in this way, but to do so under a religious manner which will purify them. So that's what Madhav and Stella are getting into, what's called Grihastha Ashram. Ashram means that which you can take shelter of. So they're going to enter a phase of life where they work together as husband and wife to serve the Lord, and that should be the center of their activities. And if they do this, they will become more and more purified, and they will experience greater levels of spiritual ecstasy and realization, and also get closer to God, because God will reveal himself to one more and more. The more steps we take towards God, He will take so many more towards us, actually. So it may take some small thing. So I just want to share one more small thing, and then hopefully Stella and Madhava are ready for the final portion here, where they'll sing a song for us. This talks about what the whole point of human life is, as ordained by God. So, I'll just chant the Sanskrit. Saha yagya praja shishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishyadvam eshavostvishta kamaduk. So Krishna, he's saying here, in the beginning of creation, he said this very long back in the Bhagavad Gita. I was kind of giving you something that was towards the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Now he said this earlier. But he said, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for that Lord, Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yagya," or this sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you all desirable things. So you actually see this. There's many cultures, all ancient cultures. Only now have we lost this idea of yagya, of sacrifice. But all ancient cultures, they would do certain rituals and sacrifices to please God, and they'd understand that all blessings would come in their life by doing it. Now, I told you in the beginning of class, there's two ways to get what you want. One is to try and take it by force, and then one will get punished by this. Like, for instance, if you want $60,000 and you say, I know, we'll rob the bank, and I have this elaborate plan, and I can rob the bank, and we'll do this, that, and the other thing. You may go do it, and you might even be successful, but a good chance you're going to get caught. Does anyone know any successful bank robbers? No, you're usually not successful when you do these things. Even some may get it. I mean, there's a lot of online hackers now. They're hacking millions of dollars all at once. But when the FBI finally catches them, they get in trouble, and next thing you know, they have to pay for their crimes. So similarly, if we just try to take from the Lord and take from society, take from the world what we want, okay, you can try. But if karma comes, everyone has a negative stigma with karma. Why is the negative stigma there? Because we have this mentality. Everyone says karma is the B word. And they say, and you've heard that saying before? Karma is a female dog. You would only say that if you deserved the negative reaction of karma. But if you did positive things, karma would be very nice to you. But because we do negative things, karma is very mean to us. And that's why all negative things happen in our life, because it's a natural reaction from God, actually. It's called karma. So, this is here. But if everyone does sacrifices for God and makes their life, like Madhava and Stella are endeavoring and making their life a marriage in which they sacrifice for God. Like Madhava is even doing some ritualistic sacrifice right now and offering the food to God on the altar and asking that God were to bless the food. And this way, this is a sacrifice. So if one finds ways to make their life a sacrifice for Vishnu, for God, it will bestow upon one all desirable things. So this is actually the secret to get all good things in life. Make your life a sacrifice for God. Don't just try and take your way and get the things you want, because you might even be successful, but karma will come, and if you don't deserve it fully, it will take, and next thing you know, you have some surprising situation. Oh, I don't know why that happened. God knows why it happened. And you also, if you think back really deeply in your life, you may also have some realization. Oh, that's why that should have happened to me. So this is natural. But if we make our life, we can be happy if we make our life a sacrifice for the Lord, and it'll bestow all desirable things. And that's what Madhava and Stella are doing. Do you know when Stella might be ready, Madhava? Because I'm about ready to end here.
Like 10 minutes or something.
10 minutes. Maybe we should just start the next portion. I very much will worry. This will happen again on the wedding day. Just wait. But it will probably be longer. My wife kept everyone on the edge of their seat for an hour and a half. Yeah, it was too long. But anyhow. So, yes. So if we support Madhava and Stella in this sacrifice, and even maybe ourselves, if we take this inspiration and seeing how these beautiful young people are taking to a life of sacrifice to God, and maybe we can say in some small way where we can be engaged more in sacrifice to God in our own way. Every religion has, Jesus is also saying, love God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength, and will. No matter what tradition you're coming, it's all the same message: love and serve God, sacrifice for God. Even though even higher than sacrifice is, it's in the Bible. He says, "I desire what? Not sacrifice." Does anyone know? You know, Craig?
Say that again.
It's a Jewish. It's in the Torah, and then also Jesus quotes it in the New Testament. He says, "I desire blank, not sacrifice." Even higher than sacrifice is what? Do you know? Yes, love, but the word here is a little bit different. But it's ultimately coming from love. Do you know?
Devotion?
It's not loyalty, is it?
Not loyalty. It's devotion is also there. It's mercy. He says, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." So that's a whole another subject matter. So we should be very merciful unto all other living beings in this world. That's why Jesus says love.
That's why they say Jesus is for love and mercy, right?
What?
Jesus, love and mercy.
Yes, Jesus was main of two commandments were love God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength, and will, and to love one another as you love yourself. And then even that's, I could have read the one verse about sacrifice, but it talked about even being very kind to even the animals. And even in the animals, Madhava and Stella are taking to a vegetarian lifestyle. Why? Because this is a very merciful lifestyle where they're not wanting. They know the harm and even the torture and the negativity that will and even murder that will be cast upon these animals if they develop a taste for certain things. So similarly, also. These are some principles that are very nice, which was why for the wedding and even tonight we'll have all vegetarian-friendly meals, which you don't have to worry about any negative karma. They say karma-free meals. Actually, it's some of the great saints and sages said all the wars in the world happen because actually the people of this world, we don't find mercy, and it's because we are brutal to the animals, that karma has to arrange that the world becomes brutal to us. And so, even the number one disease in America, does anyone know what it is?
Probably heart disease.
It is heart disease. It's definitely. But actually, if one just completely removes animal products from one's diet, there's no chance of heart disease. You will die many other ways, but you won't die that way. You don't have to die that way. But the number one cause of death is just similarly because we have a taste for something which isn't merciful, so then the arteries get clogged and the natural karma comes, and then heart attacks left and right, like this. I'm not trying to joke about heart attacks, but
Or otherwise, too much salt, right?
What?
Too much salt.
Too much salt can also, but if you just remove the cholesterol things from the diet, there's no chance of the arteries clogging like that. You'll die some other way. So that's reality. So anyhow, that's all. Are there any questions until they're ready? No questions? All right, so you're all ready to completely subscribe you're all now officially Hare Krishnas. Thank you so much. This is very nice. I appreciate that. Very good. Welcome. So I'm just kidding, but thank you guys for joining. We'll have a lot of fun over the next few days. On Saturday, there will be more of the relatives will join on the actual wedding day, right? For the actual wedding sacrifice. So we won't do like a whole class like this then, but the priest will explain many things. I may give some introductory things, but it'll be a very busy day Saturday. But now you kind of know the essence of why it's happening and what it ultimately is. It's something, a ritual in which they're going to do to secure the Lord's blessings and the Lord's devotees' blessings. And anyone who participates will be blessed, so you'll all be blessed just by associating. So congratulations. Madam, do you want to do the this part? Or do you want to sing?
Your call.
It's up to you.
Your call.
You can do
Your wife actually said that I need to go need to shower more else.
Yeah, but you don't have to shower right now more, but later tonight you should maybe take another shower.
After
Yeah.
we leave.
Yes. Yes. Don't worry. Your skin actually, after 1 or 2 days, you'll be like, wow, my skin looks good. So, yeah, you'll be glowing and beautiful. Okay, so I guess I will sing this.